Okay, so as always, 2-3 minutes to each one of you. Explain what you do, what drives you, etc., etc.
Absolutely. So first of all, really excited to be here. I'm Yuval Samet, 40 years old. I'm the son of Adam and Rivka. Adam, a Polish immigrant, basically, second generation to the Holocaust, post-traumatic from a couple of wars as a paratrooper. And my mother, Rivka, her family came from Egypt. And I really feel like I'm living the Israeli dream because I grew up poor with an abundant state of mind, and I became an entrepreneur that changes the lives of Israelis, and hopefully soon in Europe as well, and then the rest of the world. I'm the CEO and co-founder of RiseUp. You heard about us a little bit earlier from Michael and Sir Ronald Cohen as well, great partners and investors of ours. What we do at RiseUp is to create a world in which anyone can achieve financial power. Financial power, in our perspective, is the ability to manage a positive cash flow on a monthly basis and build assets over time. What we want to do is to help people fulfill their dreams using economical power, and we do it by the power of technology and democratization of financial data.
Sagi?
Good afternoon.
It works.
Good afternoon, everybody. So Israel has the biggest social economic gaps in the Western world, in the OECD, maybe together with the US. If, we're all talking here about the startup nation, but the startup nation, Israel, is only 9% of manpower, and 91% of Israel is totally non-startup nation. And they have less equal opportunities and less access to all what startup has. If you open a startup, you have so many VCs, angels, investors. Between Herzliya and south of Tel Aviv, you can find a lot of money. But if you want to open a nail salon or a restaurant or a barber shop, you have a problem. And what we do at Ogen, we provide access to the most important financial element, credit, loans. We give loans to those who don't have access to credit by the banks or by other financial institutions. We provide around 300 million shekels a year to small businesses in the periphery especially, and to tiny businesses, to families in trouble, to nonprofits. And we do that together with giving mentorship and financial coaching. Because giving a loan without coaching and mentoring may be a dangerous loan, may end up not good. I think this is the biggest problem, Israel, not Iran, not Hezbollah. I think social inequality, this is a big problem. When we speak about Herzl spoke a lot about it, but this is for our future. This is what we need to implement in the next vision, the next generation.
Thank you very much. Mai, before I turn it on to you, all the world of startups is a young business. It's a business of young people, young entrepreneurs, etc. But it's very exceptional to have a person as young as you, definitely a woman. It's been quite a few times that we've met, and I'm in this business for quite a few years. It is very exceptional to find someone like her. So once you hear her, you see what I mean. Go ahead.
Okay, now I'm more nervous, so don't believe anything he said. I'm kidding. Hi, everyone. I'm Mai. I'm 22. I'm probably the youngest in this conference after your child. And I'm very excited to be here. I co-founded V.com a year and a half ago. But actually, my story goes way back as I grew up in Dimona. Chana is a huge inspiration for me. I don't know if she's still here or not. But I grew up for, just a usual Moroccan family in Dimona. My parents, Chagit and Ra'anan. And my story with entrepreneurship started when I was very, very young, even younger than now. When I was 8, my best friend, Efrat, passed away from cancer. And I took her with me, in my heart for a couple of years. And when I turned 13, I decided to shave my entire hair to support cancer. And after this action, over 25,000 girls in Israel donated as well. And this was actually still in Dimona. When I was 14, I sold my first business, Pineapple, which was you don't know that? You should.
Who's interviewing whom?
This was as an e-commerce shop for swimwear, never mind. And then when I was 14, I joined First Robotics competitions where I represented Israel for 5 years in robotics competitions in the US. This is where I got my English. And then I joined the Army, and right after the Army, I started V.com to bring the nonprofit world to the 21st century. I don't know how many of you know the nonprofit world, and this sector is very, very old, stays way back in the 70s with, papers and notebooks. And what we do at V.com, we support millions of communities through their nonprofits to get human capital and financial capital from corporates and individuals around the world. And after 1.5 years, we already raised $13 million, and now we support, I think, 1,400 nonprofits already, which is crazy. And I'm proud to be the person behind this visionary and life-changing company for a lot of people.
So I'll stay with you for a second. Ask you, what future do you see to what you do? I mean, what's your vision? Where do you go? Where do you want to be in, I wanted to say in 10 years, but you're so speedy. So where do you want to be in the future?
So first of all, I think that we're in a very challenging, as Sagi said, very challenging path in Israel and abroad because, we're here celebrating what happened after, let's say 125 years ago. And when I came here, I asked myself how the next 125 years will look like and how big is the place that Israel will take in this. And I am sure that a lot of impact tech companies will come out of Israel, basically because we have such a huge chutzpah and we have such a big nerves of the problems that we have out there. And my vision for V and for our team and for the entire environment around me is keep on changing, looking at the real problems out there and how we can support them. I can tell you that now with the market downturn, we see a huge growth of single moms having financial problems, reaching nonprofits all around the world. And I believe that we'll just keep on building the technology and the team to support that. And personally, I don't know, my mom say I will be the Prime Minister of Israel, but I don't want to because it's a huge mess. But I think that I'll just keep on building and be happy and healthy, and we'll see where it comes with that.
All right. So Yuval and Sagi, I go back to you. Can those problems that Sagi pointed very sharply, can they be solved? Can you actually bridge in a very capitalistic world, which capitalism grows bigger and everybody wants to be rich and be pioneers, et cetera, can it actually be done?
Yeah, so in my perspective, it's a matter of alignment of interest. Before starting RiseUp, I was the Chief Product Officer and CTO of a company called Klarna, a Swedish company that enables e-commerce globally for hundreds of millions of consumers. And there I learned that you can actually decide as a financial institution, what do you optimize for? Do you optimize for profit alone, or do you optimize for a better society? At RiseUp, we learned that we need to apply new business models, subscription, for instance, in order to be fully aligned with the customer always. When you think about the financial ecosystem, financial services, it is usually a zero-sum game, and the winner is the financial institution. And we believe that it is time to change this power. There is new power in financial services, and it is the power of community, the power of a mutual economy, as Michael mentioned earlier. Because when you organize as a community, you can actually change the power challenge, and you can optimize for growth of your customers. Because you can decide to manage a positive cash flow for your customers and only optimize for profit, give them loans for very high interest. Or you can trust your customers. You can believe in mutual achievements. You can believe in long-term brand building by optimizing for their growth and not for the interest rate, the maximum interest rate that you can take according to regulation. So I believe that from here, from this Congress, we can actually say, let's change the game. Let's create the new power that enables many of us to enjoy financial services with better prices. As we speak now, our community on Facebook, a 40,000 people community, are actually fighting against the interest increase. Together, we are going to create better deposits for better interest rates, and we are going to do it by, I don't want to say fighting the system, it's about collaborating in a new way. And this is what I believe in, and this is Mitzion Tetzet Torah. We can really be the light for the nations when it comes to new alignment of interest and a new financial system. This is the future I would like to see and enable.
Nice. Sagi?
I'm not a socialist. I would say even that I'm a capitalist and I'm a pro-free market person.
That's why you can assist.
Yeah, but even a free market has a market failure. In some areas, we have a market failure, and I think access to credit is one of them. It's not just in Israel, it's everywhere in the world. There is a market failure with access to credit. So if you think about how to solve the problem, it's a matter of scale. And to scale it up, we cannot be based only on philanthropy. And therefore, Ogen is creating Israel's first nonprofit social bank to be a full service bank in a few years. Even now, we have already a credit portfolio of 500 million shekels. Around 15,000 people are being helped by Ogen every single year. And the goal is to become Israel's first nonprofit unicorn in 5 years from now, and maybe more. And all that using, more sophisticated financial ways like impact investing. This year, for example, Ogen will raise most of its money from impact investing, securitized bonds in different models. We are raising money from institutional investors, pension funds, from insurance company, even though we are a nonprofit, and they are happily investing with us because we are providing a sensible and organized model to invest in a good return on investment, while we help people they cannot help directly. Even banks invest with Ogen. I think those ways that are based on both philanthropy and blended models of philanthropy and impact investing can provide tools to increase and to fight against inequality and against market failures. And I hope, if to generalize what Ogen does to many other areas in our world, in our economy, I think many of Israel's problems can be solved.
Elaborate on that. Which problems?
So you have, I think, the access to education, access to medical services, access to financial knowledge. Today, even to run your pension plan, to run insurance, you have to know, you need knowledge. And we have a big gaps in people don't know anything. They don't know how to handle their life. And I think should be models where access to this knowledge and those services should be better in different ways that were not exposed and were not tested until now. And what Yuval is doing, for example, is a way to access financial knowledge. To the periphery.
And speaking about mutual responsibility, we've collaborated with Ogen, and actually, RiseUp was conceptualized in Ogen's office. The first customers that we actually acquired to our product were at the office, the old office, I think, of Ogen in Jerusalem. We actually came for a day, we learned their audience, and this is where it all started. So I think that this is, again, mutual economy, this is mutual responsibility. And because Ogen has such a magnificent vision, we can actually collaborate and create products together, because this is the true innovation, when you manage to create new competitive financial products that are going to beat the banks or beat other financial institutions with social good and purpose ingrained.
By the way, our first investor, Ogen's first investor is here, Yoel Cheshin. Hi, Yoel. And he was the first that believed in this hybrid model of not just philanthropy, impact investing, and he's making not just social return, but financial return from Ogen, and we're all happy about it.
He came from philosophy, that's what he said. That was his philosophy. Maya, I take you to the beginning. How did you think of this idea? Why did you go there?
So as I mentioned before, when I was in high school, I participated in FIRST robotics competitions. FIRST is a very, very big nonprofit around the world. And in my last year, I joined their impact committee. This is a committee of both students and employees of FIRST trying to solve problems that FIRST have as a nonprofit. And one of their biggest challenge was communicating with corporates. And I entered and said, okay, there must be a product, a way to do that, both to get the donations and to report on them, and also, you know, to manage the volunteering operation, and we definitely found none. Post-COVID, now we have a very big market with a lot of competition, which is good. And I knew that I'm gonna do something about it, and when I finished my service, I said, okay, I want to check if something has changed because I'm still mentoring the team in Dimona. And I saw that this situation was exactly the same. So I said, okay, I need to do something about it. It was faster than I thought, I have to tell you, but I'm very happy to see that.
So I'll follow up on that and ask you before we finish, because you see the clock as well as I do. Can Israel be a light to the nations in those fields as well?
Definitely. I think that people in my generation, sorry everybody, millennials are struggling to find a way to look at Zionism. I grew up, and when I voted, let's say our scope and the way we are being seen of do we support Israel or not is who we vote for, right?
In Israel, we vote every second week.
Definitely. And when I look at what we do at V, and when I look at all the impact startups in Israel, I definitely believe, and I'm sure that this will be the future, that Israel will be placed in this level of recognition, but we need to work, and we need to work hard to do that and to make it happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mai, Sagi, and Yuval, thank you so much.